peeps. Today's video on Happy New Year. It's officially 2015. So today, since it's the first day of 2015, I originally was going to do this video last night, but I had stuff to do. So, I'm going to be reviewing 2014. This is going to be 2014, the year in review. It's WWE, of course. I'm talking about the whole year of WWE from January to December. So, I'm just going to kind of get right into it. January, we had build up to the Royal Rumble. We had the return of Batista. This was CM Punk's last month in the WWE. They were trying to build some feud between him and Kane. They were trying to plant seeds for his feud with Triple H, which was supposed to be the match for WrestleMania 30. And they were trying to plant seeds, and you had Batista come back. We had Cena and Orton at Royal Rumble. Then we had the Rumble match. Of course, we're at the Rumble event. Batista ends up winning it, which I'm going to talk about this for a second. I still baffled how people shitted on Batista. I've known since day one they were going to have Daniel Bryan go in the main event. I already knew that was planned really since SummerSlam. And I knew that was the plan since SummerSlam. I kind of know that was going to happen. So, he wins the Rumble. It was him and Roman Reigns are the last two. Kane ends up... Okay. Punk eliminated Kane from the Royal Rumble, and then Kane ends up screwing Punk over the Rumble match. That was supposed to be like the seeds planted for his match with Triple H. And Batista ends up winning the Rumble match. And people said, oh, Daniel Bryan got screwed. And then we had Orton and Cena, which I think got shitted on. And then the very next night, Punk... This is the night Punk left. But I think at the time, no one really knew that day. They didn't talk about it, because that week, that's when it started getting talked about. That's when everyone started talking about Lesnar, and, which that became an official thing. So, yeah. So officially Punk left the company. I mean, that was like the biggest headline this year. He finally explained why he left. I mean, there was months he didn't say anything. And then I thought for a while WWE they didn't want to talk about it. They just didn't address it. I mean, now we're going into the month of February. We had preparations for the Elimination Chamber. We had one chamber match. It was Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton, Christian, Cesaro, Sheamus, John Cena, I think, and Randy Orton. So, and then and then we also had Shield and Wyatt's. They were building up that match, which was crazy because this was like a match at the time. The Shield technically were still heels at the time, and the Wyatts were heels. So it was like a heel versus heel dynamic, which I liked. So we had build up for that. This is when Cesaro started really getting pops. I mean, they started like the Cesaro section during his matches, and then we had the Chamber pay-per-view, which Wyatt's ended up winning. And then you had Randy Orton retain his championship in a dirty fashion. I think Kane got involved and screwed over Daniel Bryan. Then the very next night, Hulk Hogan comes back. He announces he's the host for WrestleMania 30, which it's good to have Hogan back. I think he belongs in WWE. He should have never went to TNA. And then also Taker comes back. It's also announced that I didn't talk about Lesnar. Lesnar fought Big Show at Royal Rumble, destroyed him. Also, that same night Hogan returned, it was announced that Lesnar... It wasn't announced. Lesnar really much had an open challenge to whoever at WrestleMania because he wanted to conquer something since he didn't get a shot at the championship. Taker comes out and chokeslams him through a table. So that's when the match is pretty much official, Lesnar and Taker. And also, the Wyatts attack Cena. They attacked Cena at the Rumble, and then he attacked him at the Chamber. So we're going to have Cena and Wyatt. Now, in March, we start really the build-up. March was no pay-per-view, but we just start the build-up for WrestleMania 30. we had Batista turn heel because pretty much Batista after Royal Rumble, people started shitting on him. They started calling him Bootista. No one really liked him, so WWE had no choice but to turn the guy heel. I think it's a very sad move. I mean, because originally Batista was supposed to come in and be a face. Also, the plan, March 3rd edition, Raw was in Chicago. They finally addressed the CM Punk situation because for like a month they didn't address it, and but I'm like, they're gonna go in Chicago because they had to do damage control because of the whole hijack Raw thing. So I think they did the right thing with Paul Heyman, which was kind of cool. I loved when they had Heyman. Hold on. They had Heyman come out there, and which I named the segment of the year, and talk about Punk, but also talk about his Lesnar's match with Taker. Lesnar comes out and dominates Henry. And I think that same night the Usos win the tag championships. Then the few weeks at the Occupy Raw segment, which I did not like that segment. For me, there are a bunch of backstage people. They weren't really real fans. Two, it was a goofy segment. I'm sorry, I just couldn't like it. It just felt, even then I felt like, really? It's kind of goofy. Because they were, for weeks, trying to have Daniel Bryan fight Triple H. This was supposed to replace Punk and Triple H. And the match was made official. Also, the stipulation was if Daniel Bryan wins, he gets a shot at the main event. Put in the main event of Batista and Orton. Also, Triple H brutally beats him down, which I love that segment. Not just because he beat Daniel Bryan down. It was kind of cool. I saw a glimpse of, like, Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression Era Triple H, who just viciously beats down his opponents. I mean, I remember that beating he gave William Regal back in the day, where he busted William Regal open, hit him with, like, sledgehammer shots, brass knuckle shots. I mean, dude, he fucked up William Regal, man. But, like, and then also, Triple H same night announces that whoever wins will be in the main event, so there will be a triple threat. Then, more build-up for Lesnar and Taker, pretty much, which I feel like in March, they didn't really have a lot of build-up. You had that segment where Lesnar is out there, and then Taker had the coffins, which I thought was kind of cool. Now at WrestleMania, we're officially at WrestleMania 30, and we had the end of the streak, which was amazing. I mean, not amazing, but it was shocking. I think probably the most shocking thing this year was the end of the streak. And yeah, Lesnar, I mean, some people question, was Lesnar the right choice? He was the most realistic choice, I believe, to end the streak, if anyone can do it. I personally believe it should have been someone who's established. For me, a lot of people say it should have been a younger guy. The problem I have with that is, what if he ends up being nothing, or what if he ends up leaving, I think someone who's already established makes sense, and it's better than Cena. You also have Daniel Bryan get his moment, and then Cena beat Wyatt, and then the very next night, now we're in April, the night after WrestleMania, we had Lesnar pretty much shoved. This is when Paul Heyman started my client Brock Lesnar defeated the streak, broke the Undertaker streak. Oh, the Shield turned face. I think, which was the right move. I think it was kind of interesting to see them, because I remember for months earlier, leading up to WrestleMania, they were trying to plant the seeds for a Shield breakup. But where they're like, we're gonna let the Shield run for a couple of more months. Because I know they were trying to plant the seeds of a Shield breakup, but they decided, what, we're gonna continue it for a couple of months. You had Shield save Daniel Bryan. It's pretty much planted the seeds for Shield and Evolution, which I personally believe they should have did the Evolution reunion the night after Mania. I think would have been better. I get it, you wanted him to attack the Shield, but which I guess I'll get to it now. The Evolution reunited the week after. Oh, we also had, before that, you had Paige debuted, which I believe was, wow, because, the crowd, she came out, the crowd actually popped. Then again, this was that crowd, the night after WrestleMania crowd. Usually it's pretty good. Remember, at night after WrestleMania 29, the crowd was pretty into it. for me personally, like, it was nice seeing a crowd pop for a diva because it's been a while. Really, 9 times out of 10. I mean, maybe AJ would get a reaction, but it was kind of nice seeing a crowd actually get into a diva segment. So Paige wins the Divas Championship. Um, they kind of planted the seeds for Evolution reunion when Orton and Batista just started teaming up. And the following week, Orton and Batista got attacked by the Shield, so then Evolution reunited, which was kind of cool. I mean, before that, we had the sad death of Ultimate Warrior. I mean, but it's great. I mean, he went out strong. I mean, he had the Hall of Fame induction. Even though that segment that segment before, literally like the day before he died, or 2 days if I remember. I think it was Wednesday he died, I think. It's very sad, he's a legend in the business. At least he went out going in the Hall of Fame, because I remember for a while, there was a period people didn't think he was going to go in the Hall of Fame. He had the Self-Destruction of Ultimate Warrior DVD, I remember that. Because, yeah, WWE and Ultimate Warrior had left on bad terms, but I think they're good now, and he went out going in the Hall of Fame. That segment, though, where he talked, it was kind of cryptic, because he talked about himself dying, and then days later, he died. I mean, so rest in peace, Warrior. You'll be missed. So, yeah, the following week, which they did a little segment. It wasn't like they did a whole show dedicated to him. They literally did, like, a 5-minute opening about it, and then later that night you have the reunion of Evolution, which it is sad. Okay, I love Evolution. They're my favorite stable. The problem I had with it is the crowd didn't pop or anything. You had terrible commentary. The commentary was terrible. You had Jerry Lawler like, "Oh no!" I'm like, dude, it has been nearly 10 years since Evolution reunited, and you have them fucking no reaction, but they proceed to beat down the Shield, which was kind of cool. Because I was like, I was amped though. I marked because I'm like, an Evolution and Shield feud looks pretty cool, and then we pretty much started planting the seeds for Extreme Rules. And then the other match was John Cena versus Bray Wyatt, which I thought the build for that match was actually pretty good. You had the Cena when he was in the cage. A lot of people thought it was going to be a heel turn. No, because I guess that week he was put in a handicap match against the Shield, and he was asking the fans, like, why? Why did you do it? But you knew it wasn't going to be a heel turn. But then you had Bray Wyatt and, like, the children all singing, "He's Got the Whole World," which I love, but I like that segment. I thought it would have been kind of a good thing for Wyatt. And then, pretty much now, I guess we're at Extreme Rules. Bray Wyatt ends up, I guess he wins, but because of a kid or something.
What did they knock over?
Granny, I'm recording. Sorry about that. Anyway. As I was saying, yeah, Bray Wyatt won because, like, a kid did a demented voice with he's got the whole world in his hands. And then he climbed. I didn't like that way he won, but Shield and Evolution, oh my god. Oh, I guess I didn't really talk about that part. Daniel Bryan fought Kane in, like, it was an Extreme Rules match, I think is what it was. And you had the return of the Kane in the mask, because he dropped the corporate Kane gimmick. Which was, I mean, it was the segment where he tombstoned Daniel Bryan a bunch of times at school. Because it was like glimpses of old school Kane. This is all Kane really did back in the day. He would just beat up people. He would just tombstone people. Or chokeslam people. Whoever he wants. He tombstoned him like 3 times. It was on the ground, and then he did it on the steps, and then he did it on the announce table. But, the thing was, that match, it may have been the main event, but the real major feud going into Extreme Rules really was Shield and Evolution, which that match was amazing. I didn't like that it didn't have a stipulation, though, and I love the Shield, but I think Evolution should have won. Just because storyline-wise, it would have made sense. And, I mean, they didn't even have to win clean. You could have had, like, someone get involved and screw over the Shield. the Shield. You know, I think that way would have made more sense in my opinion. But I guess they wanted the Shield to look strong. Maybe they just reformed Evolution just to put over the Shield. Maybe that was the whole intention. So yeah, the Shield win, and then the very next night, oh my God, Evolution. Oh, Shield were fighting Wyatt's in a main event. Oh, it's also Dean Ambrose lost the U.S. title to Sheamus, which I thought that was stupid. I did think that was stupid, but giving it to Sheamus, you could have given it to, like, I don't know. Was Rusev there then? I mean, it would have been better then if you just gave it to him, or, like, I don't know, Swagger or Cesaro or something. Which is sad. Cesaro's year, it should have been his year. You had him join Paul Heyman, which that should have worked, but when I get into it, you had, you also had, Daniel Bryan, and they're trying to continue the Daniel Bryan-Kane feud. Like, he was chasing him in a car. Oh, God, that was a terrible segment. Oh, you had Evolution beat down the Shield during their match with the Wyatts. Like, they're about to triple powerbomb Bray, and then they proceed to, then Evolution comes out, screws them over, and then proceeds to beat down the Shield. Triple powerbomb to Roman Reigns, which that was kind of cool. Now we're in May. We start the build up to Shield Evolution 2, which I like that they're like, no, the gloves were off, because like the following week the Shield opened up the show with them like ambushing Evolution. That was fucking badass. I thought that was kind of badass. It was like, this is a badass feud. Also, Daniel Bryan apparently got an injury, had to get surgery. This is the start of the whole Daniel Bryan getting injured storyline. So, and then you have them feud with the Shield overnight, and the match is made. The Shield challenge Evolution at Payback. The only problem I had, like I said, the storyline. I was like saying, the Shield should have lost just because it would have made better sense. Oh, they have a loss, and then they challenge Evolution again. And then we're starting to build up to Payback. We start Wyatt and Cena 3. This is like the third match. Like the final blow-off match, because Cena got a victory, and technically Wyatt got a victory, so. And then, what else happened? Now we're at Payback. Oh, before that, we had the contract signing between Evolution and the Shield, which I thought that was a cool segment. I thought that was a really cool way to end Raw. Even though you had Cena, also had Cena, Bray Wyatt kidnap, or hold Jerry Lawler hostage, which, I mean, that was a cool segment to make Bray Wyatt look evil, but then he proceeds to lose at Payback, which I'll get to in then. You had, but Evolution and the Shield segment was awesome. You have the, so now we're into Payback. Payback, the event was in Chicago. Everyone thought, oh, CM Punk was returning. There was a lot of points in this year. A lot of people said CM Punk was going to return. They thought he was going to return March 3rd. They thought he was going to return at WrestleMania. They thought he was going to return at Payback, which he didn't, because Payback wasn't his hometown. So, you had, Cesaro lose to Sheamus. I hated that. You had, Wyatt lose epically to Cena. Like, not epically, like, I wouldn't say buried, but he AAs him in, like, boxes, and then he puts a box on top. Yeah, it was stupid. They had a last man standing match. And then the main event match, though, between the Shield and Evolution. Oh my God, this match was amazing. These guys, like, did a clean, like, these guys beat the holy shit out of each other. But Shield it was a elimination, no holds barred match. At least there was a no rules match. That's what it needed. But the Shield win with a clean sweep over Evolution. And no eliminations. The Shield, no eliminations in the Shield, but they eliminated all of the Evolution. And then the very next night, now we're in June, or we were in June already. So we're in June. The very next night, Seth Rollins turns heel and attacks Ambrose and Reigns. So this is the start of Seth Rollins' heel run. At first, I was like, "Wow!" I wasn't expecting it. I remember everyone was saying Ambrose was going to be the one to turn heel, but no, they decided, you know what, we're gonna pull. Everyone I knew it wasn't going to be Reigns because this is at around this time they started this big Roman Reigns push. They were like trying to push him as the next really big babyface, and they were like, you know what? So, and I thought Ambrose logically made sense, but they were like, you know what? We're gonna pull a swerve and have it be Seth Rollins, which was kind of cool. And then you had Randy Orton beat down Roman Reigns, and then so Seth Rollins officially joins the Authority. The very next week, which was you had Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns address Seth Rollins. So I remember around this time people were speculating that Roman Reigns was gonna like fight Randy Orton and then fight Triple H at like SummerSlam, and then everyone knew it was gonna be Ambrose and Rollins. They're gonna be feuding. So the Shield were officially over at this point. So they go their separate ways. We start the Dean Ambrose going on his own. Get rid of the Shield garb and start wearing like the leather jacket and like the tank top. And then Seth Rollins debuts his new like space suit or cat suit or something. And then Roman Reigns, he's the only one who's kind of kept the Shield gimmick. Like he revamped the theme song and then like altered the attire a little bit. Now we are starting to build up to Money in the Bank. Cena, it was in the Money in the Bank match. It was Cena, Wyatt, Cesaro, Del Rio. Well, he was at this point he was still in the company. Orton, Kane, Sheamus. I think that was it. I think that was it. Yeah. Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah, I think I named everybody. Also, they decided that that was for the championship. This was the Money in the Bank for the title. They also made a briefcase match, which was originally Barrett, but he got injured right before the event. So it was Rollins, Ambrose, Kofi, Dolph. Really, I don't really remember any. It was the only big one. Oh, Swagger. I think Swagger was in it. God, I really forgot who else was in that match, to be honest with you. Those are the two major matches because all the top stars were in the main eventers, were in the title one or in the briefcase one. We had Rusev. This is when they start really building the Rusev character. He fought Big E. So we're at Money in the Bank, and I thought it was an pay-per-view. Like I said, it was an pay-per-view. Cena wins the championship. But at this time, I think this is when the big reveal was that it was going to be Lesnar and Cena at SummerSlam. Like they showed a leaked ad for SummerSlam 2014 that it was going to be Cena and Lesnar. Rollins wins the briefcase with the help of Kane. And really, those are the only two really major events at Money in the Bank. The very next night, which was a really good Raw, we had a lot of returns. You had Miz return with his Hollywood gimmick. You had Chris Jericho come back who proceeds to get beat down by the Wyatt family. So I thought this would be really cool. We had the Wyatts, Bray Wyatt versus Chris Jericho. Then you had AJ come back and challenge Paige. Well, it takes the title from Paige. So I was like hoping they were gonna turn Paige heel. I thought because if they turned AJ face, which I thought that was a good move. And then so Paige, I think AJ had been gone at this point for like 2 months. She left her last Raw before it was like the Raw after WrestleMania 30. So I think Paige being a heel, I thought she'd work better. I thought. So, and Ambrose and Rollins had more steam. Ambrose said that he's going to, whenever Rollins is about to cash in, he's going to screw him over, which for the next few weeks, there are moments where you thought he was gonna cash in, and then Ambrose would screw him over. So now into July, we're going into the Battleground build up. This is like a pay-per-view right before SummerSlam, which was weird because in 2013 it was Money in the Bank then SummerSlam. They're like, you know what? We're gonna do a extra pay-per-view before SummerSlam. You had this big battle royal to see who will win the vacated IC championship because Barrett injured his shoulder right before Money in the Bank. Because he was supposed to be in the briefcase match and then he got injured. You had the Fatal 4-Way WWE Championship match between Roman Reigns, Cena, Kane, and Orton. Everyone knew Cena was winning because at this point, everyone knew it was going to be Cena and Lesnar. So it would make no sense really no one else winning it. You had Jericho and Wyatt. And then now we're pretty much, and then, also they announced, I remember, like, the Raw before Battleground, everyone thought Sting was going to show up, because Sting left, like, this cryptic message. No, it was just Sting was announced to be a playable character in WWE 2K15. And then Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose, which that match proceeded. It didn't get canceled, but Ambrose attacked Rollins, and they decided to not do it there. So I guess they were trying to save it for SummerSlam. Wyatt lost to Jericho. And then Miz wins the Battle Royal. I'm surprised. I think personally they should have just given it to Cesaro. It would have made sense. He was with Heyman. And he won the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Might as well just let him win this Battle Royal. No, and I think at this point, Cesaro and Heyman just kind of split. They really didn't explain it or anything. And at this point, this is when Cesaro's just, like, went down. He stopped doing the swing. He just... Cena retains, of course. I mean, everyone knew. They're gonna do Lesnar and Cena. That was the plan from the get-go. So the night after, we had pretty much this start building up SummerSlam. So we had Lesnar officially announced to be the #1 contender. Which I remember he came out, he got a big pop. I remember hearing, like, we want Lesnar chants. Triple H, like, had a fake announcement to be Orton, and then Orton proceeds to get attacked by Reigns. So I guess they did Reigns and Orton at SummerSlam. I remember months before, they were thinking, a lot of people were speculating that was going to be Reigns and Triple H. Clearly they're not doing it. Maybe they'll do it later, but I guess they just decided not to do it. I remember that was, like, the original game rumor. They were going to have Triple H, like, Roman Reigns fight Orton at Money in the Bank, and then have Triple H fight Reigns at SummerSlam. I guess they scrapped that idea. Oh, Paige turned heel officially. That was another match because Paige lost to AJ again. So then we start the build up to SummerSlam. Also, Stephanie gets arrested by Brie Bella. Stephanie gets arrested, that arresting segment, which I thought was pretty cool. And the very next week, it's announced that it would be Brie versus Steph, one of the marquee matches at SummerSlam last year, technically. At SummerSlam 2014, the main matches, pretty much the two matches that were, like, the top. Definitely the big main event was Lesnar versus Cena. And then this is that whole angle that it was going to be that Lesnar's going to victimize John Cena, which we will get to. Oh my God. Also, what else happened? We had Stephanie versus Brie, which I kind of knew was going to happen. I knew they were going to plan her since Payback. I thought they were going to, yeah, they're going to do this match probably at SummerSlam or something. That's something. And then they had a contract signing, which for 2 straight weeks they closed Raw. They ended Raw for 2 straight weeks, which was nice. I thought it was kind of nice that they're giving the women the main event slot, because that for like 10 years, I think the last time was when like Lita and Trish like main evented a Raw. Hold on, let me see how long this is going. Okay. So pretty much now at SummerSlam, you had the matches where you had Wyatt, Jericho 2, which Wyatt won. I think that made sense. Wyatt needed a victory because after losing the feud against Cena, he needed like a major victory. So, um, Roman Reigns and Orton, which Roman Reigns won, which I kind of knew he was gonna win. The only problem with this match, I didn't really like that this match had no story. The Orton and Jericho story, the Reigns, I mean, the Wyatt Jericho story was pretty much Wyatt was just attacking Jericho. From what I gathered, it was because Wyatt kept saying Jericho promised he will come back and stuff. So maybe I'm assuming that Wyatt was maybe like once a Jericho fan, and he said he promised that he would save us and stuff like that, which was kind of cool. I mean, the storyline I thought was somewhat of a storyline. Orton and Jericho. Orton, I guess, Reigns cost Orton a shot at the championship, and that's why Orton was mad. I guess that was really the story, pretty much. But they didn't really have any segments or anything. Ambrose and Rollins lumberjack match, which what they turned that match into. Because when I heard at first they were doing a lumberjack match, I'm like, a lumberjack match? Are you kidding me? But the match was really good. I mean, yeah, Ambrose curb stomp Rollins, that was fucking cool. But Kane interfered, a big scuffle. Kane interferes. Rollins hits Ambrose with a briefcase, wins, so he cheats. And then Stephanie beats Brie with the help of Nikki. So we started the Nikki versus Brie storyline by Nikki attacking Brie, and then Stephanie pedigrees Brie and then wins. And in the main event, my God, the most one-sided ass kicking ever. You had Lesnar just decimate Cena at SummerSlam. I mean, 16 German suplexes. I said in my review. I mean, my God, he just decimated Cena, and then he wins the championship. The very next night, they made the title into one belt, which I thought made fucking sense. It didn't need to be two titles at this point. I was like, they should have made it one title at WrestleMania, to be honest with you. To be real honest with you, they should have made it after WrestleMania one championship. But I think making it one title, handing it to Lesnar, we planted this. Oh God, the Brie, Nikki segments were just awful. Oh my God. And then you had the Ambrose, and this is where Rollins and Ambrose had that amazing false count anywhere. Where's this false count anywhere? Where's like a no DQ match? But oh my God. Yeah, like a power bomb on chairs, great spots. And then this is where Rollins curb stomped Ambrose through cinder blocks, and where Ambrose was out for a month. And then we started, I guess, a Roman Reigns Ambrose feud. The following week, you also announced that it would be Lesnar and Cena at Night of Champions. Yeah, I guess it was where we started building Night of Champions. Oh, this is that night where Cena buried the Wyatt family. Yeah, you had Cena just beat Bray Wyatt's ass. Oh my God. It was really bad. Then you had, pretty much what else happened that Raw? Oh God, that's where the die in the womb segment. That was terrible. Oh my God. But yeah, I mean, remember getting close to Night of Champions. I guess one of the matches was Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, which ended up Roman Reigns getting injured, like, I think the week before, like, a couple days before Night of Champions, he got injured. I forgot, like, he had a hernia or something. And then, so, pretty much now at Night of Champions, I'm really only talking about, like, the major matches. I don't want to go through the whole show. I mean, guys, I pretty much, some of the events I just talked about, I already reviewed. So I don't really need to go through the whole show. I'm pretty much just talking like the major matches. Lesnar, Cena, the Rollins segment, which ended up Dean Ambrose returning. Golden and Stardust win the tag belts, which I guess that was fine, I guess. Orton and Jericho was there, but and Lesnar, and it looked like Cena was about to retain the championship, but then Seth Rollins proceeds to attack Cena for some reason, and he curb stomped Lesnar. And then same night, Dean Ambrose comes back, so it looks like we're gonna pretty much hopefully start building the match for Hell in a Cell. For some reason, we started this angle where Cena gets involved. Cena and Ambrose both want Rollins. It was kind of dumb. Because I remember for a while, and then they had said at Hell in a Cell, they're going to have a match to see who will face Dean Ambrose. But then they just face Seth Rollins. But they decided, WWE decided, I think they did the smart move. I think now we're going into October. We're starting the Hell in a Cell build up. Which I think WWE made the right move by moving the match. Oh, we had The Rock come back one week, which was kind of cool, seeing The Rock return. Surprisingly, because I heard just because he was in Brooklyn, so he's like, you know what, I guess I'll just show up on Raw. But that segment, though, I mean, they decided, you know what, we're gonna just do, yeah, like I was saying before, WWE made the right choice by having Ambrose and Cena fight a contract and pole match on Raw, where Ambrose wins, and they just like, you know what, now we're gonna have Ambrose versus Rollins Hell in a Cell. Why they were starting also these weird vignettes with the Wyatt family splitting up, so it looked like this is the start of the whole Wyatts going their separate ways. And then I guess Cena and Orton had a Hell in a Cell match to see who will face Lesnar, I guess at the Royal Rumble, which was weird. I mean, it was like I still don't understand why was it a Hell in a Cell match. It should have just been a regular match. It didn't need to be a Hell in a Cell. But Hell in a Cell event, there were really only, to me, you had the really good 2 out of 3 falls between Cesaro and Ziggler, which I still think Cesaro should have won that. That's just me. You had Orton, Cena wins, Cena won, and also I think this is the start of the Orton face turn, because that Raw before Hell in a Cell, or Seth Rollins curb stomped Randy Orton. Or in my match of the year, Rollins and Ambrose Hell in a Cell. My God, these guys just went at it. This is where Wyatt came out and attacked Ambrose, and this is where we started Wyatt and Ambrose the very next night. And yeah, so this is the start of the Wyatt, I guess, solo run. You also had, I guess, they're planting the seeds for Survivor Series, which was announced to be Team Cena versus Team Authority. Now going into November, this is where they started like naming people. That was like really the big match, was Team Cena and Team Authority. You had like all the major players. Like for Team Raw, Team Authority. Raw, yeah, Ryback came back, and he came back with the Feed Me More gimmick, which was, I think, turning Ryback face was a good idea. I think people were starting the Feed Me More chants, and him being heel just made no sense. So for Survivor Series, you had really 2 major matches. You had the Team Authority, Team Cena match, and then Ambrose and Wyatt. I think those were really the only 2 major matches. The other matches were just kind of there. I mean, for the build, I remember for like a while, there's only like 4 matches. A lot of the other matches were just kind of made Survivor Series. So like I said, Team Cena, which was John Cena, Dolph Ziggler, Ryback, Eric Rowan, Big Show, who ended up turning on Team Cena, knocking out Cena, and Cena got eliminated, which I'm surprised. I was thinking Ryback was going to be the sole survivor. I thought that was going to happen. I thought the last 3 would be like Cena, Ryback, and Ziggler. I thought that was going to be happening, but no, Ryback got eliminated pretty early. And then you had Team Authority. Originally Team Cena, Sheamus was going to be in it, but then I think he got injured. Team Authority was Seth Rollins, Kane, Rusev, Mark Henry, and Luke Harper, who just like won the IC title from Dolph Ziggler. I guess like I think the Raw before the event. And this match was really good. And then before I guess I'll get to Wyatt and Ambrose. Which was a really good match. I think these guys did pretty good. I mean, it ended in a DQ finish, but you had that ending where Wyatt Ambrose just proceeds to bury Wyatt like a bunch of chairs and tables. And then that's where it's announced, like, surprisingly, that normally WWE doesn't do this. They don't really announce a match at the next pay-per-view at the pay-per-view. They don't normally do that. They might start doing it the very next night, but they decide, at Survivor Series, we're going to have TLC, Ambrose versus Wyatt in TLC match. But Team Cena, Team Authority, this match was pretty long. I mean, I remember the match being like 40 minutes. Cena got eliminated, thanks to the Big Show turning heel for like the upteenth time. Team Ziggler just proceeded to eliminate everybody. He became the sole survivor. Then it was Rollins and Ziggler. Triple H tried to get involved, and then we had the final debut of Sting, which was fucking cool. I mean, finally. I mean, it's been years. Everybody's been wanting Sting in WWE for a long time. He comes out, Scorpion Death drops Triple H, and then he puts Ziggler over Rollins, which Team Cena wins. But I guess I'm going to get to it, and then the Authority are gone. The stipulation was if Team Cena wins, the Authority are out of power. If Team Authority wins, besides Cena, the rest of Team Cena will get fired. But I'll get to it later. But now, the very next night, I think we start really building up TLC, which I think this match, TLC was way big. I remember going into it, the card was already made. You had Eric Rowan versus Big Show in a stairs match. I'm not going to go into the whole show again. I reviewed it, so I'm pretty much just going to talk about the really major matches were Seth Rollins versus John Cena, Ambrose versus Wyatt TLC match. You had Ziggler and Harper in a ladder match. You had the Slammies, which was announced Roman Reigns wins Superstar of the Year, which he announced he will be back later this month. Last month, in December. So now we're into December, the final month of the year. And now we're at TLC, which Ziggler wins back the IC belt. You had Roman Reigns comes back, helps John Cena win the tables match between him and Seth Rollins. You also had what else happened? In the main event, Wyatt and Ambrose beat the hell out of each other, which Wyatt wins. Then the next night, Lesnar makes his return after being on a hiatus. F5 Cena. F5's Jericho too, because Jericho was the host of Raw and he challenged Heyman to a match. And I guess I really don't have to get into that. I talked about it on I did reviewed that Raw, but pretty much I just got to tell you Lesnar F5's Jericho. And then later that night, Rollins and Cena had a really good steel cage match, which Lesnar F5 Cena. I didn't watch the Christmas episode, like I said. Then we're in the final Raw of 2014, and Daniel Bryan announced he's going to be in the Rumble, which I think I reviewed this Raw, but this past Monday's Raw, pretty much. But, like I say, the Authority getting signed back, hired back, which, I'm sorry, to me, they should have waited. They should have waited at least either till, like, maybe after Royal Rumble. At least another month or two. Like, I felt like that pretty much devalues Survivor Series. Because this Survivor Series, you were having this major build-up, like, the Authority, are they going to be gone for good? And then you have them come back a month later. But, yeah, overall, what do I think of WWE in this year? I say the best time of WWE this year in 2014 was definitely around Mania time. Mania and a little bit before SummerSlam. I thought those were two good times. The dullest moment was the fall for me. It really didn't have a lot happen. And I already did my awards. But overall, I thought WWE was a hit and miss year. You had some great points this year, and you had some missed points. But I wouldn't say it was a terrible year. like I said, it's a hit and miss here. But other than that, guys, so yeah, WWE's okay in 2014. Hopefully, 2015 this year will be better. I mean, now we're gonna start the build up to WrestleMania 31. But other than that, guys, yeah, I might do a video sometime this week. I don't know if something comes to mind. But other than that, guys, I am signing off. Peace.